Welcome back to another Maxi Boost on commentary. I am Lukewarm Holiday.
And I am Irissa, and today we're going to be watching Full Armor Unicorn footage from the EX vs Maxi Boost Joho Kyoku channel.
Full Armor Unicorn is a 3-stage suit. First form is long range, second form is all-purpose, and third form is predominantly melee focused. Alright, so it's pretty common that Full Armor Unicorns purge straight to Form 3. As you can see, he jumped straight to Form 2 and immediately went to try to set up a pressure.
Yeah, I suppose since we're in Form 3 we can talk a bit about it first, but it's the melee focused one. You have a very fast barrel roll, but that you can cancel out of most of your moves, and then you can fast fall out of it with your Vulcans, and this is primarily how he gets close to people. He also has funnels, the shield funnels that help with that. Like, you can use them to pin people and like catch their movement basically when they try, if they have to stall, if they aren't on angle when you're approaching them and they have to stop, the funnels can often just catch them. And that's also his sub is also useful for that, because his sub is it's a big shot that has shooting guard on the front of it, so that can help protect him from being shot out of stuff. So he has a very basic and pretty effective mix-up game in Form 3 as a result.
Yeah, there's two different kinds of funnels. Shield funnels, one of which will stab, the other ones will just shoot machine gun fire at it, and then once you deploy the funnels, you get access to the barrel roll at any time with BC.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you need to deploy the funnels to access BC if it's not a cancel.
Yeah, like
Swag
just
melee
to be
combo right there.
Yeah, just to be clear, you if you press BC normally, you get funnels of some kind. But if you press BC out of a move, then you get the barrel roll, and you can either barrel roll straight, you can barrel roll sideways, and yeah, that's melee in a nutshell. I suppose the other thing to say is it has a jumping dash melee, which means also you can't just rise to get away from it, because that will catch you. Nice block. We'll talk about the other forms when we see them being used more. Let's just stick to Form 3 for now, right?
Yeah. He also has a BC that does some bonus damage.
That's leaves
him stationary. Leaves him stationary, but it does a bit more damage than your normal melee combos. You only use it when you want to get greedy.
Yeah. This suit has reasonable range presence, even though it's a melee suit. It's also really, really fast. That's probably the other thing I probably can't be stated enough about Full Armor Unicorn, is that it speeds up exponentially the more you purge. Form 1 is somewhat clunky and slow for a 3K. Form 2 is normal. Then Form 3 is really fast.
It should be noted that Form 1's red lock is gigantic.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing to comment on Form 3 specifically would be it's the transition into it. As you saw initially, he executes a pressure wave when he does it, and that often means that you'll see Full Armor Unicorns use the Form 2 transformation into Form 3 kind of as a trump card, either to drag people out to the end of their boost or whatever, or they're about to attack him, he can just purge and do it. That's what he's fishing for right now, basically. Not fishing for, but ready for right now.
It also sends out your funnels to do the Gatling shots, and then they try to thrust into the target, so they actually can force a lot of movement, even if the pressure whiffs.
Nice catch.
Yeah, falling directly on top of people and 8Bing, because 8B is ridiculously fast, can be pretty effective if they're not ready to step it.
Hopefully we get some more footage of the other forms so we can comment on those a bit more. Okay, so Form 1,
Form 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
It has a big missile spray. That's its AC. That's one of the best moves it has in this form. It has two ways to cancel into Form 2, one of which throws the canisters out, and they create their own big explosions. The other one is a dash attack. He just purged with throwing the canisters that time. I'm going to transition to talking about Form 2. Form 2 has a machine gun main, a pretty good bazooka sub that moves sideways while it uses it, and a very good Garobi basically like, it's just super high correction. It's very good for punishing.
It's basically a snipe. It's also like instant travel speed too. It's a little bit like Banshees and G versus.
Yeah, and you can aim it very, very... Yeah, it's very aimable.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah, like the thing about his bazooka, his CSA is solid, but like the thing about his bazookas is they're not actually that very good on the muzzle correction front. Like they're more for like a way for him to move and apply like some higher, like you kind of, the way that you play Form 2, you kind of like fly around and use your main and stuff, and then when you need to recorrect your positioning or people are moving a little bit too much and your swerve isn't enough, you kind of use the side bazookas to like reassert and keep moving and keep shooting, basically. Like there isn't, because in terms of using the bazooka to call out a landing, it doesn't really work that way, like compared to most other suits with bazookas. Like the correction just isn't very good by comparison. So, but you can cancel into his Garubi instead as like a longer range landing punish, high correction call out.
Something that you kind of just need to play a lot to get a feel for too is a lot of times you can just fall directly onto people with Vulcans and get a stagger like that. So like, it's not as easy as you think to get the timing for when you can actually get a full stagger off, because if you don't get the full stagger, they might just move away from you.
Yeah, like in general, when you're playing in Form 3, if you expect that if you see that they're on angle and facing you, then like you don't really have a way to stop that. Like if they're on angle and you're barrel rolling at them, then generally speaking, you're going to have to like either step or like expect they do absolutely nothing. But if you know they're going to do something, you're probably going to have to step or use your sub or something to defend or against their counterattack. But if they're off angle, that's when like the 50-50s come into play, really. And his assist is really good for that as well, because unlike the sub, he doesn't have to commit to like staying on it as much. Like he can just call the assist and then get it, and then just immediately leave, and then the assist will correct and shoot and hit the opponent if they moved. If they stop moving.
You can also set them up so that your sub and assist hits at the same time, because assist cancels into sub.
Yeah.
And if you get them both to hit at the same time, they do quite a lot of damage for a ranged confirm.
Yep. Let's try to let's commentate on a bit more on what's going on. Unfortunately, Full Armor Unicorn is a bit of a crazy suit, so like a lot of the games go really fast and like can be difficult to commentate exactly on what's going on. But like right now, they're in a very good spot. Obviously, like the opponent's team is already like down to their last life. Anyone dies, and I don't think Goldframe's bursted, but Reborns is just desperately trying to kill this unicorn from killing Goldframe.
Well, it's just when you have a stomp with a melee suit, it's way more noticeable.
Yeah. Random missiles. Form 1 is not like to be fair. Like Form 1 and Form 2 aren't bad or anything. It's just that they are much worse at like actively asserting themselves onto the game and taking control of it.
Form 1 is basically a back suit. So his main in the sub is a decent fastfall, and his red lock is huge. So like if he's just kind of poking at you and your partner's covering for you, like it's weird. You can kind of play the suit as a back. Yeah. It's just generally not preferred because Form 3 is so strong. Oh.
Yeah, in Form 2, you can defend yourself well and you can stand your ground, but it's pretty difficult to push onto people, basically. It's the only tool you've really got for calling people out as your CSA or your Garubi. A little awkward to use sometimes. But then you go into Form 3 and you're just like, I'm just gonna like immediately force a response from you. If you don't react to what I do, you die. Oof. Straight away, Garu. Pressure. Good step. Good step. And immediate target swap. Ooh, I like this sequence. Like he target swapped and then moved and then flipped back again. Like just
you have the privilege of doing that, so you can get people to think that they need to start moving in to stop you from comboing a partner, and then you just turn back and punish them instead.
Yep.
And that full saber was like, no, your melee's not that good. I can just challenge you. That's dangerous, though, because if he 8Bs, he can absolutely beat all of Full Saber's.
Oh, he actually got shot out of the pressure. That can't happen. Like it doesn't have super arm or anything. It just comes out basically immediately. But so you can get shot out of it. Oh man, he's already
burst. Got punished.
Supered. Yeah, like this is actually a lot of damage he's taken very quickly. This game went from being like reasonably ahead to
wasn't too bad because it started off sub.
Needs to save his partner right now. Double burst. Go, go, go. Okay, Forbidden got it.
Yep. The full saber turned to hit the full armor unicorn, and Forbidden was like, alright, I'll win the game. Good on Forbidden to be ready for that.
I think something to like point out that like I haven't mentioned yet is the correct use of like when to transform like will depend a lot on your partner, but it also will depend on your opponent. I don't just mean like in terms of a matchup sense, but like the kind of player you're fighting against as well, which is like.
I need to say some things quick, because we finally got some footage of Form 1. Main sub, it was a cancel. You can use it to fast fall when you're out of angle. Your melee is missiles. You just shoot missiles. And then I've already explained the AC. You can use the dash melee to trigger Form 2. Rather than throwing the cans. Like, this guy wanted to play more back and slower, but they came to him, so he was forced to switch.
Well, yeah, like for the what I was saying was that it also will depend on who you're playing against, and not necessarily just in a matchup way. Like, there's lots of ways to reason about like what would be the best way to what's the best form against what style of play, and so on and so forth, and when to take advantage. Like, but I don't think there's like a universal consensus on anything beyond like the basic observations that reset. Basic observations that Form 3 can exert the most presence.
Okay, he protected himself against the barrel roll spam into 8B.
So if you have to move up, you definitely take Form 3.
Xeon cleaned up. Good
nice
snipe.
Yeah, that was a good Garo. Range, so you don't usually see it at like that kind of angle, but like I think he actually hit the full cloth too. Just the full cloth still had the.
No, he's got shield.
ABC. No, that's he hit them too. It.
Okay. Just clipped it and okay.
Yeah, like it did it again there. He clipped it, but he didn't break it.
Yeah, he really just wants it off before he goes Form 3.
Yeah, full cloth's whip kind of like can solve. Oh, nice extend burst on the opponent. Actually, that's like the perfect thing for GPO3.
Well, it's just you don't have any way to mix up your approach if the mantle's on because it'll eat your assistant sub.
And I was unblockable with the funnels. That was pretty cool. That was a nice step back at the last second there to get out of that. Chasing. Okay, just fill it with the CSA. Mixing up when you trying not to be predictable with this suit is also kind of important, because like if you get too rigid and just going to Form 3 immediately and then doing an obvious like burst on top of people with your pressure into Form 3, then people are just gonna like be prepared for it, and you're never gonna hit anybody with your pressure. So like being a little bit unpredictable is good. It's good not to be too predictable and formulaic with this thing in terms of how you play. Like you don't want to just immediately do that. Well, I'm only going to play a long range. Then when you approach me, I'll purge, and then when you get too close to me, I'll go into Form 3. Like if you keep doing that over and over, doing that over and over again, then people will just bait you out anyway. So that's another thing that's semi-important, like a level of meta with this suit that isn't really with a lot of other suits.
Full cloth had to come back on overcost. It's so sad. He's lucky that he didn't die. Oh, GPO3 really needed to get that punish.
Ooh,
oh, full cloth?
Good save.
Oh, okay.
Good save.
Full cloth could have probably killed him there. I think he might have ruined it by stepping after the 6B. I don't know how much damage you can push out if you don't just commit.
It's probably worth saying that Full Armor Unicorn's like melee is actually not particularly good at chasing. Like he has really fast melee and high priority melee, but none of his melee are particularly good at chasing. That's what the barrel roll's for. I mean, if you can boost dash away from his melee, like you can just fly away from his melee if you're a high cost suit. If he just melees, but if he barrel rolls, then he gets too close for you to just fly away from. That's the thing.
Nice, Garoby. A lot of times DXs just take for granted that they can just float away and take a landing pretty far away, so if you have things that chase them all the way to their landing, they might be caught unaware.
That was an awkward but necessary step in the middle of that sequence.
Yeah, he just barrel rolled and held main because he's like, both suits are on me, I just need to take a landing and reset.
That was
and
really good.
Now he gets to
really
punish
good
the
use of
DX.
funnels. Yeah, like this is the thing about Full Armor. He can be really aggressive and still not be committing too hard. Like he doesn't have to actually go in all the way. Like he doesn't even have to vernier.
Like he got 2v1'd, he barrel rolled towards one of them and just flew past him and landed with funnels. And he used like only half his boost, but he wanted to take a quick landing to try to reset. Because if he kept trying to run and kept using boost, he'd probably have gotten punished. But instead, he took the quick landing, got a boost refill, and was able to pick up a punish on DX.
Oh god, just stall. Waste your time. Okay.
Just land is a huge problem with melee suits in general, where it's like, no, I can keep pressing, I can keep going, and sometimes it's like, yeah, but you could also land and have twice as much ability to keep going.
Oh!
Nice.
That was a really good purge.
They
Purge
were
into
hungry
sub
for
does
it
a
and
pretty
said no.
Purge into sub does a pretty substantial amount of damage as well. Sub is just generally pretty high damage. And that's that. Because I believe that's back to the first one.
Nope, this is...
Okay.
We got one more, because this guy ends up having to play back.
Oh, that was a nice cancel sequence there. Like, he got out of angle in Form 1, and then cancelled it into the dash, and then cancelled the dash into the main of Form 2, so he could get a on angle
Fastball,
still
yeah.
firing a sub.
Good pressure.
It's pretty hard to punish Full Armor Unicorn's like landing out of barrel roll main, like because of how fast he's moving when he cancels it. Like if he cancels it early, so like it's unless you have a very high muzzle correction move.
Here's a preview for your future. Barrel roll into main is basically Rex's core gameplay, except instead of Vulcans, it's an actually proper main.
No, it's CSA.
Oh yeah, CSA, and then he can main while he's falling. But he will just flip right at you in a very similar fashion. Except he has a much more
that was a lot of
set
spam.
of tools.
Nice block, good block. Susanoo was there to help. Okay, because that could have been a lot of damage from that Salsa being at first. He pinned.
Yeah, he really wants to preserve his HP.
Yeah, his partner's gonna die, so...
This is a really good example of how versatile this suit is, because he's just constantly dragging attention and not taking damage because he's so hard to hit. Good pickup by the Susanoo. Susanoo got both of them. Yeah, his assist like recharges pretty fast too.
Yep.
So it's not the worst thing in the world when you have to back.
Oh, that could have been really good, but that sounds.
You just have to know. You just have to know if you're ending up backing with this suit, like you still kind of need to take attention by doing like pretty aggressive barrel rolls. You just need to know when you won't get hit or punished for them. So you can make people nervous, make people have to look at you, open up stuff for your partner when you're not actually going to try to commit.
Really good, nice OP sequence. Read him well. Still playing safe. He's going to give his partner another life so he can get another Transcend, which makes sense. He still hasn't bursted yet, so he's good.
I just realized he's playing E-Burst, so he might just be used to the Susanoo fronting.
I think that, like, with Full Armor Unicorn, this can happen a bunch, of where you both, like... You both just go in really hard because you have to look at Full Armor Unicorn, you know? Like, you just both go in really hard, but then he's more capable than a lot of other melee suits in case of being overcosted or things going a bit south, in this sense. So, you know...
Yep, now you have to deal with double burst, melee suit plus Full Armor Unicorn running at you. Well, that's it for today, so see ya.
See ya.